thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. Wait a minute. This isn't my basement. This isn't my basement either. It feels way different.
It's a little roomier in here.
We're in four of our good friends' basement, actually, this week. This is a we always say it's a very special episode. This is actually a special episode 500 of the Massenomics podcast.
I mean, we get to celebrate us. What else more could you ask for on something like this?
We literally have not missed a new episode every Monday for now 500 straight weeks.
Yeah, man. It's insane.
Which is absolutely shocking. And for anyone that's listening to this audio only, you don't know where we're at yet. On video, this is not a green screen. We are with four of our good friends here, George, Thomas, Teddy, and Abe, here in front of Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
On the Borglum Terrace of Mount Rushmore.
All the South Dakota connections we could to get this spot on a rainy October afternoon.
And completely uncoordinated, Tommy is wearing the Jefferson deadlift
Had to represent.
shirt, and I'm wearing the deep out of the vault, the High Plains shirt with Mount Rushmore on it.
In case there was any debate before, you cannot question that this is a South Dakota-based company, right?
Right. So this episode 500, we have a lot of special stuff planned for it. Also, I'd say our family was asking if we were going to be nervous for it, and the whole time I was like, no, I'm not going to be nervous until the second we just about started, and I'm like, wow, for the first time in like hundreds of episodes, I might actually be a little bit nervous to record an episode. It feels different.
They asked us the question, and I said, I'm not so much nervous about the content. We were there for all 500 episodes. I don't know if you remember, Tanner, but we were there.
Yeah.
But what concerns me is you can't see this, but we have 2 cameras, multiple microphones, a podcast. We have all this equipment thrown across the Black Hills here, so there's just a lot more variables.
Also, it's sprinkling a little bit,
and it's raining. Yeah, not ideal either.
Where we're at is open to the public as we're recording.
So
you'll see
people will be
coming around and getting a free little partial early listen to the episode 500. We didn't live stream any of this episode, so everyone else is hearing this for the first time when this comes out. This episode, much like all episodes, is brought to you still by the Strength Co. Though Big Grant from the Strength Co. was actually here at Mount Rushmore. Was that maybe a year and a half ago or so when he was
roughly
here last year for the Lift Hard Live Easy Classic? He came and had to check it out for himself the first time, and no coincidence, he makes some of the best made in America, easy to grip, black E-coated plates that are out there. And when I say some of the best, they're just the best.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to think it's somewhat part of his trip here to Mount Rushmore. So go check out the Strength Co. That's thestrength.co. You can also click our affiliates link page on our website. You can get to them through there, just like a whole bunch of other affiliates that we've got as well.
And this episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Texas, in case you're not familiar with the United States, happens to be one of the great states, just like South Dakota. And they have a very special individual over there named Buddy Capps. And Buddy Capps set out to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with. And when he went out on that journey, on the other side of it, the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling. It was maintenance-free, and it was also like the Strength Co. plates, made to last a lifetime.
Like Mount Rushmore.
Just like these stone faces up here. Also legendary, like these stone faces, too. The Texas Power Bar has set almost an unlimited amount of world, national, international, and Massenomics powerlifting records, and it continues to break them to this day. So if you want a Texas Power Bar for yourself, head on over to texaspowerbars.com.
Well, when in Rome, what do you think about starting off with a few Mount Rushmore statistics?
Let's do it. Give me the rundown. What's going on with this place?
Yeah, so we are on the Borglum Terrace of Mount Rushmore, and for anyone that doesn't know, Mount Rushmore was sculpted by famous sculptor Gutzon Borglum, and what it went on from 1924 to 1941, and probably one of the more interesting things that I learned about it.
So it took longer than this podcast actually is.
Yeah, not that much though. We're almost 10 years, and yeah. Well, longer than we've gone now.
Yes.
Probably we'll see if we can outlast the Mount Rushmore construction period by the time we're done with this thing. But nobody died And I could have sworn
Really?
that like a bunch of people died.
Oh, I thought you were going to say 20 to 30 people
Well,
did.
right.
Man.
That's a stat I found that nobody died throughout the carving process.
I guess people were just good back then.
We used to be a proper.
It kind of makes you just want to say it, doesn't it?
Height of the faces. How high do you think each one of those faces is? Not like from ground to there, but like how tall is each
actual?
face?
Okay. Is it like 100 feet?
Well, Lincoln's kind of got a horse head too, so his has to be a few feet taller than the other ones.
Seems like it. Well, he's got
Yeah.
the tall hair added to that.
Right. 60 feet.
Oh,
is
60,
what
okay,
The
okay.
stat I got. 410,000 tons of rock blasted. That's more than there was iron ore on the Edmund Fitzgerald.
Oh,
What it's like.
jeez. And that's a number I relate to.
Yeah. Guess how many people visit Mount Rushmore annually on average?
Tens of millions? 10 million?
2.5 million
Oh.
on average about. So.
I'm just going to overshoot all the numbers. Just make them way bigger.
Well, it's just
I'll
there's
say
no
this.
frame of reference
Once
for
something
guessing
bigger
the
than a
answer
million,
to
I have
that.
no frame
Yeah,
of reference.
yeah.
It loses all track.
Last stat I have is that probably some people know this, maybe some don't, but as you can see on Mr. Washington, the figures were originally intended to be carved from head to toe, but they ran into issues in the process, and they said, I think we're good here.
So
Luckily, they
give
didn't
him the lapel and call it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking now, luckily they didn't start at the feet, otherwise it'd be really like, we just have the knees
Meat
down.
in the middle. So, yeah, that was my kids' first questions. They go, "Where's the body at?" And no body to see here.
Where are the bodies at? I keep those behind Mount Rushmore. This is also a National Treasure episode where we'll be. Wasn't that
Looking for the Declaration of Independence. Yes, that.
Yeah, so those are our Mount Rushmore statistics to kick it off, which just seems fitting, right? It's not all that relevant to the 500 episodes that we've done prior, but it's pretty fitting to
Relevant
today.
to the setting.
Yeah. So we do have a few special things we're going to do this week. We're going to go over our 10 most listened / viewed episodes ever. So that'll give us a chance to recap some of the highlights there. We're also going to do a Mount Rushmore of our collective 4 favorite episodes ever. We're going to have to agree. Like that's part of the hard part. It's not each picking 4. We're going to have to come to a consensus.
It is the Mount
for
Rushmore.
We're also going to do our consensus Mount Rushmore of our top 4 segments ever of the podcast, because there's been a lot of segments over the years. And we're going to make a couple calls, I think, throughout the episode of some old, just some old Massenomics faithful people. If you're familiar with the backlog and everything that we've done in the first 499, I think you'll get a kick out of some of that. We'll do some supporting our supporting members. We're still going to do a certified training facility of the week. And who knows where else it'll take us.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Do we want to... We'll also just probably go down memory lane ourselves a little bit, too.
Oh, yeah. Got to do some reminiscing.
But does any of those make sense to you of what we would do first?
Nah, just hit me with one.
Okay.
Hit me with one.
Well, I just wonder if we should first go down our top 10 episodes ever by the numbers.
Yes.
Unless you think otherwise.
Okay, you sent this list. This is pulling a mix from our podcast feed and YouTube, combining numbers together. Some of these were obvious to me, and some of these were a little bit of a surprise to me because they happened so long ago, but they've had that, for whatever reason, people keep hitting those episodes.
And we won't give you the numbers of each one, but I will tell you this. The Massenomics podcast has been listened to and viewed millions of times now, which is pretty wild, too. Been listened to millions, downloaded millions of times. So we start at the bottom of the list and work our way up,
Yeah,
right?
we're starting at number 10 here.
Okay,
correct?
number 10. Yeah. So episode number was 327, and it was back in July of 2022.
Okay. I can almost remember that.
Yeah, July 2022 was with John Hack. That was our number 10 episode, July 2022 with John Hack.
And rightfully so. I mean, greatest, at least one of the greatest powerlifters of all time, if not the greatest.
All time.
And he's always a good guest. People like him a lot. We like having him on.
We've probably had him on 2 or 3 times, do you think?
It's for sure been 2. It's possibly 3.
Okay. Number 9. This is from July of 2021. This might be one of the older. This is the oldest one on the top 10 list. July 2021, episode 276 with Dr. Mike Israel. I'm guessing that was the first time we ever had Dr.
It had
Mike
to have
on.
been. And it's funny thinking back on that because I did not know him that well at the time. Actually, you could say the world didn't know him that well at the time.
True.
I remember looking him up. He had videos, but they were all much more serious training specific videos. I know he had some jokey stuff out there,
Right.
but nothing like the online alias he has nowadays.
You could say we were kind of hipsters when it came to the YouTube
We found him
training
before he was
scene.
big.
Yeah, we found him before he was probably still fairly big at that point, to be fair.
Right.
Oh, what's in your can over there today, too?
Well, we got the finest Mount Rushmore Cafe cold brew that they have available. Actually, not cold brew, iced coffee. They don't have iced coffee, but I said, can you do an iced coffee? She goes, I will make one for you.
What can't they do at Mount Rushmore? Anything for our friends on the Borglum Terrace.
That's right.
Next one was from October of 2021, episode 288. So just a couple months after the last one, we had big Hunter Henderson.
This one actually is one that surprised me when I see back on the list. She's gone on to do some amazing things, no doubt about it, in powerlifting and in bodybuilding. But we just haven't had a ton of contact with her over the years. So to see the impact that one has had
also
is surprising.
Yeah, her being at number 8 puts her at the highest listened to female guest we've ever had on the show. I didn't know that.
I wouldn't have guessed it. No.
Yeah. Okay. Numbers, what is that? 10, 9, 8, 7 is 2023, April 2023. Our first repeat of the top 10 list. We have Dr. Mike for number 7 at episode 366. He's back again.
Yeah, always. What month did you say that was?
That was in April of 2023.
I remember we were at the Arnold, and he came up to our booth, and he said, hey, I got a lot of really good feedback the time I was on your podcast. He goes, how about your people talk to my people? Both joking, knowing that it's not a thing.
It's just us.
He goes, your people talk to my people, and let's line up another podcast. And that was so cool at the time because his popularity online was really starting to take off.
Right.
And that he was like, no, I want to spend some time talking to you guys.
He was starting to get mobbed at places like the Arnold Sports Festival even. Okay. Next on the list, this is from February of 2022. Big Jordan Feigenbaum of Barbell Medicine. That was episode 308. That's coming in at number 6.
Still another one that surprises me.
Yeah.
He's a great guest always. I just didn't realize the following or the...
and he's been a repeat guest, so I think that this was the first time he was on.
Okay.
Because we talked to him about that later, too, and then I think we got him. That kind of happened again,
right?
Too.
Because we had a stretch there where there was a couple big ones.
I think the secret is there's anyone that we want on again, we should talk to them about how successful their first run was. Be like, oh, it was like the top 10 of all time. They're like, get me back on there. Let's run it back. Okay, then, so those were all virtual interviews so far. I think those were all recorded from either our separate basements or probably in your basement together. Like that Dr. Mike one, that first one, I know that was in your basement.
Probably the John Hack one.
Yeah, Hunter Henderson, I bet, was too, honestly.
Yep.
But then this is the first completely in-person guest that makes the list. It's number 5 on the list and pretty recent, October of 2024, episode 444, Juji Mufu, viral star to fitness icon.
And that episode, okay, that was a milestone episode for us for multiple reasons. One, we were working with Juji, and he just seemed like this superstar that was so many levels above us. But it felt like we were ready to do this. And then we had done content with him all day long. I don't know, we were 8 hours into hanging out at his house shooting content.
Right.
And then we do this podcast, and I will say from a production standpoint, best looking podcast we've ever done.
Yeah.
Like if Massenomics had an enormous following and an unlimited budget, that's
They'd
what every
all look
podcast
like that
would be.
one.
It would be that. Yes.
That's like what, by the time we're at to episode 1000, that's what it'll be like.
Yeah. We'll have 2 of those episodes then.
We'll do that in like episode 888. It was one of the coolest episodes, though. It was very fun to do in person, too. It took a while to set that up, actually, too. Now, not unlike today, there's a little bit of setup involved. From humping this stuff for anyone that's been to Mount Rushmore before, it's a little bit of a walk to where we're at.
Had a lot of gear to bring around.
All this stuff, it's just, I told the park ranger, it's just like carrying in the groceries. We, of course, have to do it in one trip.
One trip, baby.
Even at Mount Rushmore, it's still one trip, just like carrying in the groceries. And my traps were feeling. Actually, we walked up the first set of stairs. You go, whew, I'm feeling that. And I'm thinking, wow, I'm glad you mentioned that because so am I, and I don't want to feel like a piece of crap by myself over here. So what was that, number 5?
Yeah.
Then number 4 was from June of 2024, and that was Big Coop. It was episode 426. We called it Coop of Garage Gym Reviews, Gear, YouTube, Haters, and More. Quite the elaborate episode topic on that one.
That was a very timely one. It was after the
Yeah.
the controversy of home gym con. So, we had to put our crack journalism team on that and get to the bottom of it.
Well, and that would have been the second time then. Hey, how's it going?
We got our first public appearance
Yeah.
here.
Put one in the old vice.
How you been, brother?
How's it going?
Yeah, it's been a minute.
What's happening?
The last person I think I'd run onto on the mountain.
In Mount Rushmore. Yeah.
Well, now you're on the Massenomics podcast.
Yeah, say
so-
hi to everyone.
Hey, I've seen you all. I always like enjoying the follow every time.
Awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. So you were with the volleyball team or
Was
whatever.
not.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
My girlfriend, she's never seen Mount Rushmore. And,
Well, you came to the right place.
She's from California.
Yeah.
Ah, well, welcome.
She's got a little bit cooler scenery than we do, but we got it all here too.
Yeah. Awesome. That's
Good
funny.
catching up with you.
Yeah, you too. I would talk more, but
It's all right.
yeah, duty calls.
LRC water polo team.
LR. Yeah. For anyone that didn't hear.
Yeah, so we had a guest stop by here.
Yeah. I'll explain that. Big Dirt. He said, LRC water polo team for life. Lake Region Conference water polo team was a fictitious sport, and it was like the all-star team of the Lake Region Conference where we did this water polo. Like, it was just all of the buddies from all the different schools we got together. I don't know how it started, but it was like this fake water polo team. It was. Do you know what Boys State is?
I do know what it is.
We
yes.
are all at Boys State together. We got these shirts made.
So
but-
he's from a different school than you growing up?
Yeah,
Okay,
not
okay.
the same school.
That's really funny.
What are the odds? You come to Mount Rushmore to record a podcast, and you run into one of your old buddies.
Just how it goes.
So we're talking about Coop on that episode number 4, and that was actually the second time we had Big Coop on.
First one was in person, a bit of an infamous episode for having some audio issues. That one did make us straighten
Was there
up.
audio issues on
Yeah,
that one?
his mic was like a little hot.
Was
and
that the old board or?
That was the old board, and
Yeah.
that was I had just moved into my new house in Aberdeen, and so things were kind of in flux, and
Yeah, we brought Coop over to your basement.
yeah, and nothing like my house was not unpacked hardly at all, and we recorded that episode. It was not very good audio wise, and I think the next week we bought this, and life's been better.
Yeah, life's been good. That Coop one is interesting too because a lot of people talking about, being with people and working with them before they were big. Like Coop at the time, Garage Gym Reviews was nothing like what it was
In
when
2019,
he came in 2019.
yes.
Yeah, the
Yes.
first time we had
And,
him
well,
on
the funny
show.
part is 2019. At that point, we had been in communication with him for several years through DMs and things.
Yeah. So now we're to top 3. Actually, well, technically, if we're doing this isn't a Mount Rushmore segment, but that would be the start of Mount Rushmore then at number 4. But next is number 3 from April 4th, 2022, episode 313 with Big Jim Wendler.
Yeah, and Jim Wendler. I mean, people know
It's
how that goes,
iconic.
right?
Yeah, it's iconic. And these are starting to get into very large numbers that of listens and downloads. Jim Wendler was a big one for me because I'd been a follower of their stuff for way, way before Massenomics ever existed. Like a decade before that almost. So that was kind of a cool one. Number 2 is a very surprising one to me. I wasn't never positive about it. It's partly because this YouTube video caught on a little bit more than others did at the time. And maybe it was just perfectly timely. It was episode 279 from August of 2021 with Derek Thistlethwaite.
Oh, yeah.
That's our number 2 all time.
That is surprising. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that one is attributed to YouTube a lot.
Yeah,
With those.
yeah.
I mean, the podcast itself did fine, but it did
Yeah,
get
no,
some
it-
traction on YouTube. And we've never had him back on, have we?
No, I guess we need to.
Get it on the list.
And are we ready for the most listened to episode ever
Hit him with it.
of the podcast? Episode 392 from October 2023. 3-time on the list of top 10. Dr. Mike Israetel live in person, recorded from his basement that time in Michigan. Right?
That, in my opinion, is a very good podcast episode because if you're into Dr. Mike's thing at all, we fed him some great content where we were just serving up. We were giving him just lobbing the ball to him, and he was hitting it out of the park on multiple things. That's also where we got to record the chicken bake video with him as well.
A very popular video that we had. Too,
Yeah, that was from a content perspective. That episode was.
We did a gym tour with him. The gym tour's gone really well.
God,
we
we were at his house for only a couple hours. That
Yeah,
was a
we
very
kinda-
productive few hours. I
We-
want to say, thinking back on it now, though, because you never know how these trips go, that was one of the first trips ever that we did like that. So that was
Right.
2 years ago now.
It was a building block trip for us.
It was a building block trip. I remember sitting in the hotel that morning before we went, thinking like, are we going to do this chicken bake video? And there's a whole story with that. But so we decide that. I mean, you forge a Costco membership card so you can get in and get it while I'm setting up the thing. But that was one piece of it. But the second thing was we have to do another video. There's Dr. Mike over here. Let's do a gym tour. And I was having these hesitations because he had just came out with his own gym tour on his channel within the past few months. And I thought, well, that's already been done. No one cares at all. That's old news. And you're like, well, we're here. Let's just do it.
Right.
And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, you're right. We are here. Let's just do it. And it's not an exaggeration to say that that may have changed the trajectory of how Massenomics approached content.
It probably did, actually.
That was outside of our own personal, like Massenomics gym tours.
Right.
That might have been the first ever gym tour we did that was not Massenomics.
Right.
And then we realized, oh, people do like that. And that was shot terribly. It's not how we shoot it at all nowadays.
Right.
We had no idea what we were doing. And that was maybe a turning point in all of this.
Kind of was, actually, then, wasn't it? And just like what you said, the whole trip in general of starting to realize, like, oh, wait, we could go on a trip like this, because we did EliteFTS Table Talk for the first time in that trip also. It's like, oh, yes, we can go on a trip like this, and not everyone has to be next-door neighbors for us to be able to knock them out in the same trip. It's like, no, we can just drive. It just takes a few hours.
People will actually want to do content with us, which was also, I mean, that makes sense, but at the time it seemed crazy that someone would want to block it out to do that.
Right. Yeah, so that's our top 10 list by the numbers.
Yeah.
It's not our Mount Rushmore list. We'll do that separately, I think. I mean, do we want to do that now? Or
let's go to a different topic.
Okay, we could also call someone, too.
Let's do a call.
Okay.
What are we at time-wise here? Let me.
We've been going for 20-some minutes. I wonder would you want to read an ad while I get the call ready? And then later I could read an ad while...
No, I'll read an ad here. This episode is brought to you by JUGGERNAUT AI. JUGGERNAUT AI is the best program for you. It is an app that you can get on your phone. It will guide you through every step of your powerlifting progress from a beginner to an advanced lifter, and it will create the best program for you. You set a date out or let it pick a date for you. It's going to build the program. Every day you're giving it check-ins with how you sleep, how you feel, and based off of your inputs, your reactions to the questions, it is going to tailor the program to be even dialed in more on that day specifically. If you're feeling great, it might give you a little more. If you're not feeling the hottest, it might dial things back so you can recover and perform your best. If you want to get signed up for JUGGERNAUT AI, make sure to head over to JUGGERNAUT AI. Tanner, I'm blanking. Juggernautai.app? Oh, get me in this mountain air.
.app.
There, get me in this mountain air. I forget everything. Juggernautai.app. Use code Massenomics, and you can save 10% on the lifetime of your membership. Now, the important part here is you have to do it from the website, Juggernautai.app. Code Massenomics will save you 10%. Thank you, Juggernaut AI. We good, Tanner?
Yeah, it should be ringing now. We'll see how the audio levels at.
Oh,
can you hear that, Art?
I think that sounds great. If it's hot, I'll bring it up.
I guess we haven't said who this is. It'll just be a surprise.
Yeah.
Assuming he
I don't
answers.
even know who this is yet.
Yeah.
Just
It's the good doctor.
maybe they don't know who.
Yeah.
They've set it to block.
Yeah.
Well, look who came crawling back.
I guess they really will let anyone back on here these days, won't they?
Right. How's it going, fellas?
Pretty good. Tommy, is your audio
Yeah,
okay?
I'm
Can
good,
you hear
I'm
me? Okay. All right. For anyone that doesn't know yet, if you can't recognize the voice, well, you need to study the back catalog better, because it's none other than big Dr. Tyler Effenston E. Back on the show, back and better than ever.
Welcome back to the Massenomics podcast, guys.
This is
So
episode...
the cat's out of the bag on where you're at right now, right?
Does Tyler know where we're at? Did you?
Well, I sent him
I
a
did.
picture
I
about
always
an
did.
hour ago. I sent him a
Okay.
picture of the setup, so he does know where we're at right now.
Okay.
And that's not a green screen. We are really at
There's
Mount
thousands of
Rushmore.
people behind us going crazy right
Yeah.
now. It's
Tyler, when we started this podcast, everyone said, you guys will never record an episode from Mount Rushmore. No matter how hard you try, you will never record an episode from Mount Rushmore.
That's all we were hearing right away. The first year, everybody kept saying that.
And here we are.
really showed them.
Who's getting the last laugh now?
I tell you, I got something I want to run by you guys real quick. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Yeah, let's
Since
have
you're
it.
Is
at
this a
my-
business
since-
proposition?
Yeah, I'm gonna need to borrow $7 or $8.
It's a new podcast.
So since you're you're at Mount Rushmore right now. I got to thinking about the Mount Rushmore of strength podcasts.
Great question, actually.
Have you guys addressed this on the show for this episode at all?
I don't think we have.
No,
I don't know
we have
that
a
we
variation on this, but we have not actually discussed this topic.
And you guys are going to be too humble. So I pulled some data this morning when I was doing a little thinking.
All right, yeah.
Okay?
What do you got? Do you have a Mount Rushmore then?
Well, here's the deal. I think this is the collective mind of the strength training community needs to come up with this, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they didn't let just one dickhead pick the four guys behind. Maybe they did. The four guys behind it there.
Well, if anyone gets to pick, it's the three of us. So
yeah, I would. Well, actually, we'd probably be the worst ones. But I was thinking, this is 500th episode, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
500. So, congratulations, by the way, guys. We're not doing a nugget thing for this one.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you think there's any, because this won't come out for about 3 weeks, so we still have time. By the time this releases, we could set up at the gym, do like how many nuggets do you think you could eat at once? Not to sidetrack this completely.
Listen, I know I could do 100. I wouldn't even.
Do you think
wouldn't bat an eye
should I buy 100 chicken nuggets and we do it finally?
We probably should. Can we wait? Mid diet right now, dude. I've got a big fast coming up.
What about in a couple weeks from now?
Oh, well, what day does the fast get done? It'd be the perfect way to bring it.
I'm gonna be honest. It would have to be like second week in November for me for like literally other not entertaining training reasons. But yes, I would definitely do it.
All right. Okay.
But let's get back to business.
Yeah.
So the Mount Rushmore of strength training podcast. Because when we started, I remember you guys we were like, some of these motherfuckers just been around long enough and nobody's doing it yet, right?
Right.
So I got to thinking, I said, obviously the Massenomics crowd is going to probably put you guys on the list. And I started looking, I said, I think you guys are on the list. I think Massenomics podcast this is going to sound real stupid. There is 4 dudes on the Mount Rushmore, right? Look behind it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
just double checking. Yep. Can verify.
Just saying this is a top 4 list, not a top 5 list.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are on it.
Well, some people put a 5th one on for the alien head. I don't know if you're aware of the conspiracy at all, but
his podcast. Oh, the actual Mount Rushmore. Gotcha.
Right.
Now, so I started looking. I said, what are we going to use to quantify this? And it's tough. And I only use ChatGPT for this, so it could have lied to me. But if I had to go through, remember back in 2014, 15, when strength podcasts kind of became a thing.
Yep.
Almost none of them are still doing it, first off, which I think that's a criteria that should matter.
We were actually talking about that just the other day, how so many that we discussed then have been gone for years.
Yeah. And so I started pulling some numbers, just seeing I can't just use audience size because some of these it's more like clout and fame than anything else. We're talking just the podcast. And your guys is 5-star, bulletproof 600 with an overall 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts is higher than anyone else. There's only, I think, 2 other one's got you beat in overall reviews by not many, 100.
Yep.
And then there's, I think, the Mark Bell situation.
Right.
But that's a 4.6 or something like that. You know what I mean?
It's not as high of an overall.
So
rating,
what I'm saying is, as much as the PowerCast or this new version that they've got going on over there is probably you got to put them on there because it's the first one that all of us listen to, right?
Right. I think so.
You have to.
I think that's fair.
I don't even know what the other 3 would be that I would put above you guys, which is a tremendous accomplishment being a couple idiots in my basement.
Yes.
They never should have let you fools out of my basement. I think that's the real lesson here.
Yes. So PowerCast is good. And then us, the Massenomics podcast.
Yeah. Starting strength is one that's just below you in count and review count. And I'd say that's legit. I mean, dude's obviously icon generally anyways, but has been doing it. And I think that works. And that's 3. And I don't know, let the audience pick number 4. But I think it's safe to say that you guys have put yourselves atop the mountain.
I think it's just it is the fact of just outlasting everyone is part of it.
That is true.
It has always been the strategy, but it actually
quality will make up for in longevity.
It actually kind of works though. It's not that it doesn't work.
And if we take it one step further, and I'm going to go with, the percentage of haters. you guys got a pretty high love to hate ratio.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't listen because you stayed out of all the politicking.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
First off,
Yeah.
you didn't go the conspiracy around you route and just make enemies as soon as you started the podcast.
Well, and like the other two you mentioned on the list, they have a way different love to hate ratio, honestly, like significantly
for sure.
different than ours. Like there's a lot of people that are firmly embedded on both sides of the camp.
Yeah.
And with us, we just don't have many haters. We've talked about that recently.
The only
even,
time
too.
that ever comes up is once the podcast, like if a YouTube video really goes off, then you start to get to the Gen Pop.
But it's really just it's not people that actually hate. There's people that actually hate those organizations, those other ones.
Yeah.
With ours, it's just people that are like, oh, your quads are tiny. Or, you know, like, I'm like, they don't hate it. You know, they're just like picking out things because they want to make fun of people on the internet, you know?
Yeah, it's like, you guys laugh like nerds.
Right. It's like, oh, you sound like one of you
Butthead.
sounds like Beavis. I've always said if you look around the room and you can't figure out who the guy is that sounds like Beavis, it's probably you. And turns out that was me all along.
Who'd have thought, huh? I'm glad you came to that. Better late than never.
So we've told this story before, but the back catalog is so long that the realistic thing is a lot of our listeners haven't listened to even like the first half of our episodes or the first 300 at this point, or it could even be the first 400 that they haven't listened to. So this is still new information for a lot of people, but really the way the podcast started, and Tyler, go ahead and interrupt and then add at the end of it however you want to, but we're kind of starting the gym, that stuff. It was Professor Sean's, Tommy, you, and I, and you had just come into the gym like maybe the first day you were ever in there, and you're like, oh, we should start a podcast. And I was like, yeah, that'd be really cool to do someday. Like, that's something we should do someday. Like, that's something I would, think and say out loud. And you're like, no, I have the stuff. We should do a podcast like, I don't know, this weekend. And I was like, oh, wait a second. You mean actually do it, not just something we're going to talk about, you know? And basically that's how we had a podcast.
Is that in this business, in this line of work too, how many times are people like not about it with their ideas, especially in podcasting is one.
All the time.
Oh, I should have. Oh, you don't have anything to say.
Right. Or
your
you
first
5 episodes in, your entire knowledge base has been wiped.
Now, the nice thing was we started with actually nothing to say.
Right.
And then figured it out after that, which is like, we just got to start doing stuff. I do think it was interesting that like, what the fuck were you idiots going to do? Like I think about it, because I'll tell you what attracted me to things generally. I liked you guys. You guys were good dudes. But like the name is awesome and the logo fucking rules. Like it's one of those things where you're like, okay, this just like at its core, you're like that. If that just was already a thing, nobody would doubt it, right?
It's dumb, but there is so much truth in that. Is that it seemed legit right off the bat, whether you knew what it was or not. You're like, oh, this is clearly something.
Right.
By the way, I've hired Tommy to do logos for me and some of my other businesses over these years, and that's the only criteria I give him is like, just make sure it looks like it's already been a thing.
I mean,
and then we're not fucking around. Like, it's okay.
We
don't got to hit home runs. It just got to look like it exists. We can't have people like, what the fuck? But I think that started as like fundamental. I was like, that's pretty cool. These guys seem to be about it. I had been kind of urged to collaborate because I was just doing really lame writing on some of the CrossFit stuff I was doing. And thank goodness we didn't double down on the blogosphere, by the way. That would not have, that tide was not rising, you know. And we kind of did some of it.
Eat the damn sandwich. Wasn't that
bury that, delete that, censor that stuff. But I do think that we like dabbled in it, and especially with Sean's, it was like, okay, well, there's all these like tools at your disposal in this fitness entertainment type space, or I don't know, fucking whatever, enthusiast information. Right. There's plenty of pathways you can go with it. And it was like, all right, well, podcast one, start writing some stuff. And honestly, what was interesting, and as much as this probably like pains you to hear, the podcast did well and was doing really, really well, and always, kind of has continued to grow. But as soon as like meme culture became like, and Tanner's pretty good at it. Like I kind of fall on my face a lot of that stuff. It was just like, so if you ever don't do this, when you go back fine, if you're like, hey guys, I made a meme. Tyler would throw a meme in every once in a while. Fucking shit I wouldn't get it. You know what I mean? I would be like, that's dumb. And then you guys would politely be like, okay, we'll post it. But like you guys got so good at the meme hustle, which like kind of makes the content really, really, really pop.
Yeah.
And that was like, I said, podcast generally was like the workhorse.
Yes.
And then
And the consistent, just like was
and the
always
blogs
there.
and the blog stuff was going to inevitably die just because that's the way all that stuff is now.
Yep.
And it just ended up that missile was headed straight to the ground. And then we left with the podcast and fucking growing an Instagram channel. The only way, finally, there was a way to grow social media, because otherwise you had to like have a personality or you know what I mean, make like
Right.
personality content where you're the one talking or you're doing this or we got to take our dicks out. And instead, like memes kind of became a thing that like made their way from just like the standard formats to then start to apply to all this other shit. And you guys really, really, really have crushed that. And I think that was when it went from like 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers to wherever you're at now, 50 something on one, but it doesn't matter. Those numbers
I'll act like I don't know every single number by heart.
I know you know.
I like to pretend like, I don't know. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Either way, we can go. There's a metric. There's a metric that we based our success on early on, and we're not gonna. I won't say any names. For
I know what this metric is.
It's
we
funny.
had a metric that
We
was
used
some
measure stick against people that are completely irrelevant to us now at this point. Yeah,
but
that's
there was a local person who
Right.
was just like thirsty fitness account, and it pissed us off because she had so many followers and doing nothing of substance, and there was no product and was no entertainment, so it was all fluff, and who knows how real those numbers were. But like when people were talking about fitness and we had the podcast, people, oh, you should collaborate this one. and so we just like, but I remember that number.
Yeah.
Because I think it was around 10.
Yeah.
K or something like that. And I was like, God, we got to get past that. And I remember, I think I was still around when we popped past
I think
that
so.
one.
Yep.
And then, and thank goodness, that is a ratio that you should always look to measure your success. Now, by the way. That needs to get to 100 to 1 to 1,000 to 1 to 1,000,000 to 1, so that nobody's ever going, oh, you got your little fitness thing? And you're like, I'm going to fucking burn this place down.
You know, the other thing about the podcast history lesson that I bring this up sometimes and talk about this is, at the time I remember, you know, you knew more about podcasts than I think that either of us did. Obviously, you knew way more about it. You were prepared to start one in a week, but also there was this thought like, oh, this was in 2015, and it was like, oh man, are we starting this too late? Like, did we miss the bus?
That is hilarious to think about.
And now that's a decade ago. And, you know, don't you remember that thought though, where it was like, oh dang it, we needed to be like 3 years ago.
That was our first that was in our first conversation in the gym, was like, dude, here's the problem. Everybody's already been doing this and we're so fucking far behind. Right? That was it. We're like way behind the 8 ball, but
there's like 5
just have to
fitness
chip away.
podcasts already. Is there room for a 6th one?
Literally was it too.
It's like we're talking about the beginning of time here.
Right.
Right. You're like, I don't know, man. It's just, we treated it like it was going to be getting into like large scale corporate farming now.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I can't just buy 1,000 acres at $10,000 an acre and borrow money on all this equipment and just turn a profit on just that land this year from scratch. It's not going to work. But it just wasn't that way. It was odd that the whole tide continued to grow. There wasn't any major bubble, but it was pretty interesting that was our first thought, was like, I mean, Rogan's been doing it for like 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
All we got, and I don't remember the number we said in the beginning. I thought it was 300 or 500. It's like, you just got to, you know, you do 300 episodes, you know, like you'll have some people.
Right.
Now, unless you're doing the Conspiracy Randy podcast, and you will not. But that's a topical thing. Now, I do, what was kind of interesting was also like in the beginning, is like when people want to start a podcast and then they wonder why it doesn't get a bunch of momentum. It's like, bro, the first time you decided to start lifting weights, you suck at it. Like that's the other thing about podcasting, is you have to do it, and you're going to start it when you're the worst you're ever going to be. And then that's your foot you're putting forward, which is, it's a fucking, and thank God, by the way. Could you imagine if we put out those? This is what makes me afraid now. When you're like, everybody go back and listen. Yeah, but the first like big chunks of those are bad, and we were figuring out stuff, and we didn't know what we were going to do or what we were going to talk about. So we're like, you guys want to lift weights in my garage? Okay, let's talk about what we just did. Yeah. I don't fucking know. We're like doing stuff, talking about it, doing stuff, talking about it, and that's a formula that like works as long as you're willing to like eat the shit. But I think it's important to like wallow or like hide your mediocrity for a while and hope that could you imagine getting, you know, the views you get now on those
It would
first few
be-
episodes.
Yeah, it would be odd.
That would
no
fall
one would listen.
right
That
off.
would be the thing. Yeah.
I do like those existing though still because it tells the story
I
because it's such a
suppose.
long story at this point. So it's
Yeah,
interesting for
yeah.
that to exist. That is there for those that want to dive in on that journey, which at this point now is an insane journey to take on the
Yeah.
entire catalog, but not to discourage people from doing it. Go
Yeah, you
do
don't
it.
have to
Start
do it,
back at
guys.
one.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. Nobody has to do that.
So
By the way, hold on. I got to touch on one more thing here
Yeah.
because thinking of the original episodes, guys, I don't understand if the repeatonomics or the people that do throwbacks to those old episodes, do those guys hate me and think I'm lame and gay? Because I feel like I'm getting clowned on real hard on
funny-
all that shit.
The
I'm
funny
like,
thing
fuck,
is
man.
we don't know who that actually is,
right.
and
No
I don't
shit.
know the answer to that either. Because sometimes I'm
I
like,
don't think so because they
Yeah.
kind of do it to us too.
Yes.
So that's I think
Okay,
that's out of
okay.
love.
Yeah, it is. They
Do you
just like
think
to
it's-
make fun
by
of
the
everyone
way-
equally.
Do you think it's Mark Bell?
He's like,
I love that thought that it is.
Yeah.
But I highly doubt.
I got a
that.
conspiracy podcast.
Yeah.
Now, but also the biggest, if you're the what's the word? It's either recent or repeat. I don't know who's still doing it and who's not anymore.
yeah, that would be recentonomics.
Recent.
That's more,
Um,
more commonly seen.
that dude's got to come in and you got to do that. What's the game with the kids or the little, where you're trying to guess
Human
who
centipede.
No, yeah, where you're trying to guess who the bad guy is, who the spy is.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That guy's
yeah.
got it. That person should anonymously just show up to the Lift Hard Leave.
Yeah.
And everyone's just got to guess who it is.
I like that idea. So yeah,
I think that'd
shout
be a
out
ton of fun.
recentonomics.
Shout out Recentonomics. Sneak your way in and then just like and just let us know you'll be there. And then as long as Tanner and Tommy don't reference like back and forth who's been before and who hasn't, like you could really have a what's that fucking game, that little kids game where the guys wear little
Yeah.
space helmets.
I don't
Whatever.
know.
That's irrelevant. But that'd be a fun little game.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, you can check out Tyler in the first couple hundred episodes. That'd be your first
Yeah.
stop. You can check out Tyler in the Chicken Nugget Challenge that we're going to get going finally in 2025.
Let's go.
And then you can listen to Tyler every week on Conspiracy Randy podcast.
Yeah, check it out. It's a ton of fun. It's the most fun I have every week. It's a blast. It's not for everybody, but if you like it, I truly believe it's the funniest podcast on earth. I really do. It's the most fun. I go back and listen to it, not because I'm an egomaniac, but because it's hilarious. So if you want to hear me having fun talking mad shit, it's not actually about conspiracies. We're just retarded. And that's Conspiracy Randy Podcast. Follow the accounts on TikTok, Instagram, and follow me at Tyler F. and Stone. That's Tyler EFF I and Stone on Instagram. Guys, I'll let you get back to your other calls. Appreciate you having me on.
All right.
Thank
See
you.
Tyler.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Mystery guest 1 is in the bag. What do you think, Tanner?
Mystery guest. What do we call another one, or
Do we have a segment to break this up with?
Yeah, we
do
could break it up.
got a lot of ground to cover here.
Also, should I do an ad too? Do you got anything to change, or should I hit an ad
you
anyways?
hit him with an ad. I'll
Okay.
just give us a checkup since we've been going a little.
This week's episode, along with every episode, we're in South Dakota this week, but still representing our North Dakota friends, Barefoot Shoes. I don't know if this comes across on camera, but I made the hike down here to Mount Rushmore in the Barefoot shoes. Of course, I saw Tommy was wearing them earlier this weekend as well. Thought about wearing my Bruin boots, but not even necessary. Didn't have to. The Tommy, what kind are these that I wear? The version 2 of what are these? Ursus Gen 2 are great for outdoor hikes even. Barefoot.store is where you check them out. Discount code is Massenomics. It'll save you 10% on every single order that you get there from Barefoot. And they have new stuff coming out all the time. There's a new boot. They have a new winter boot coming out. If we were going to record this a couple months later, you would we would need them up here on Mount Rushmore, but we'll survive without them for now. So thank you, Barefoot, and more from a couple other sponsors later in the episode. We'll get to another call in a little bit like we talked about, but first, another segment, I think, right?
Yes.
Well, should we do a Mount Rushmore segment?
Well, that
We kinda did
or
one.
do we have a certified gym we want?
Yeah,
to go to?
actually,
That's
you're right.
typically the spot
And
we're at.
and supporting our supporting members, really.
Yeah, let's get to that.
Okay, yeah. So supporting our supporting members, this is a relatively new segment, even at episode 500, still a relatively new segment of the podcast. It's where we give back to those that support us. I'll just put this out there. We're at there's many hundred supporting members now, and it's a huge part of Massenomics. When that program started, obviously it didn't. We had no idea what it was going to grow into, but it has become one of the biggest, if not the biggest thing currently that keeps us going and keeps us doing stuff like this. So if you're not a supporting member yet, please consider joining. We would love to have you. It really is what keeps all this going. We make jokes about keeping the lights on, keeping the cameras on, keeping the soundboard on, keeping us engaged. But the sporting membership program is the number one thing. We'd love to have you buy something from our website, become a certified training facility, all that. But the number one thing is if you're not a supporting member and you like anything that we're doing, please consider becoming one. This week, we just kind of wanted to shout out our Hall of Fame members. Everyone that has made it into the Hall of Fame. I guess I should pull that list up.
Specifically our top jacket level members.
Our top, because there's two levels of the Massenomics Hall of Fame, and what that program is anyone that becomes a supporting member, then you can get access to start checking out the list of Hall of Fame achievements. If you make 12 achievements, we send you the special Hall of Fame cup, induct you into the 12 achievement membership program, which we've got about 40 of those Hall of Fame members now that have made it to the Hall of Fame cup level. Then once you make 15 achievements, you actually make it into the jacket level Hall of Fame, which we then present you with your Hall of Fame personally embroidered jacket. We have a little ceremony for you. It's a lot of fun. And it's just our way to give back to those people that support the whole Massenomics thing as much as possible. So going to run off our jacket level members. We've got Big Scance. He's actually a master completer. There's 16 achievements on the checklist. He has completed all 16. He was the first ever 16 achievement member. Next, we've got Big Matthias Cash. He is also a master completer, second ever to complete all 16 on the checklist, which completing all 16 on the checklist is kind of an insane achievement.
Very, very impressive.
There's many, many people that have been pushing towards that and haven't been able to do it. The third and final one that's master completer is Big Lou Nutter out of Omaha, of course, has completed all 16. And then our other jacket level Hall of Famers, we've got Big Scott Dods. He was the first ever into the jacket level Hall of Fame. Also the first ever Massenomics supporting member. Mm-hmm. He signed up the second it was a program. First woman in the Hall of Fame is Big Jen Veenstra. First and only woman up to this point still. Then we've got Big Eddie Woodard, corn-fed Highlander, jacket level. Big Brad the Pad is in the jacket level. Big perfect little sweetie, Bryce Woolman. And then last but of course not least, we've got Big Tommy the Stapler, jacket level. We've got 4 or 5 new jacket level members that are going to be getting their jacket probably before the end of 2025 also. So a new class getting inducted later this year. So thank you to everyone that supports. It really is the thing that keeps Massenomics ticking. Mm-hmm. Then how about our certified training facility of the week?
Yeah, episode 500, this is a big milestone, and we couldn't just pick any random gym. We needed something special, and we were thinking, you know what? We're here at this presidential monument. Maybe we need to go back to where this all started. Let's go back to Washington, D.C., and we start looking, and the closest gym to D.C. specifically would be the gym that memes built.
Yeah.
At Mostly Squat Mats or at actually Squat Videos. This is a
shed gym.
Yes, this is a shed gym, and almost internet famous gym at that point.
Kind of an internet famous gym.
Yeah.
I mean, not kind of, it is.
I think these photos are a touch outdated because I believe the rack direction has changed. So Matt's going to have to get on that and get that updated. But do you have the photos pulled up?
I've got the photo. I've got one photo.
First photo. So we're going to give this.
I think there is only one, isn't there?
Oh, is it? I didn't even. Oh, yeah. The other photos are of Washington, D.C., which is of not hell. Okay. So
we've got Mount Rushmore right behind us. We don't need pictures of the D.C.
I would say I really look forward to the day that I can visit this gym in person. I think that will happen someday.
We'll do a gym tour here at some point in time. There's no doubt.
Yeah. But for the time being, we'll have to settle for a certified training facility of the week. And like you said, this is in a shed right off the bat. Just judging by the size, is this shed maybe 10 feet wide?
Yeah, because he's probably got an 8-foot platform there.
That's what I figured, 8 foot. And
so it's 10 foot.
Yep. Yeah. And then it's probably a little deeper than that, maybe 15.
I'm going to guess 15 or 20. It's hard to tell a little bit.
And he has got this thing packed to the max. There's not a whole lot more you could fit in there. In this photo, he has a 4-post rack This one it's not a flat foot, right? Isn't this one bolted down, I believe?
I think it is bolted down, yeah.
And I know he's made some updates to some of this recently, but again, we're going with what he has here. He's got those chrome Hansu calibrated
I'm jealous
plates,
of those.
and, they look so good. Not a huge calibrated guy when it comes to lifting, but I can give the credit for
those
how cool
pop.
they look for sure. He's got is it a Bells of Steel like wall mount or freestanding tower wall mounted tower here?
Yeah, maybe that's what that cable
which very compact
plate
footprint.
loaded cable machine.
Yep, very compact footprint. Works great in a home gym. He has I don't know. Is that just weight storage or is
that's a dumbbell cart also?
Oh, is that what
he
it-
built
okay.
that
Okay.
weight cart? I think those are his dumbbell weights that he uses on there, maybe even
gotcha?
for his loadable dumbbells.
Gotcha. All right, back to the rack. Looking at the plates, there's some Rogue bumpers on there, I believe. We got a adjustable bench. I think it's a Rogue adjustable bench.
I think it's a Rogue adjustable bench.
Yep, Rogue adjustable bench on there. We got some spotter arms off the front because this is just a 4-post and he's lifting outside of it typically, I believe. On the wall in the back, well, actually, little home gym hack right here. Because, this is a small area, not only are all the walls covered in every type of Massenomics / band movie poster you could think of, but when the walls get covered, where do you go? You take it to the ceiling.
Yep.
And that is another way to fill up valuable spaces. Most people aren't thinking the ceiling, but it does exist. It's an option.
Yeah.
From there, we're looking at the bars on the wall. We got an SSB. I'm not sure which one that I can't quite tell from the photo what one that is. We got a couple power bars. We got a log in the corner. We got some crash pads. There's in the foreground, you could say here, Tanner. There's
in
a
the
rackable.
the foreground, you say. That's
It's
my
the
favorite
corner,
ground.
of course. There is
Yeah.
a rackable curl bar, it appears to be. Got a football bar and a couple other little odds and ends. What do you think? Did I miss anything?
I think that's it. The other thing, you can't tell it in the picture, but you've seen it if you've seen it on Instagram. He's got his light show.
Always growing.
Yeah.
Light show, lasers. I think there's smoke too, isn't there? Right?
If there's not, there should be.
Yeah. So that adds the theatrics of it.
Yes.
No doubt.
Do you think you could get strong in
Hell yeah.
Classic. Definitely could getting strong as hell in the shed that Memes built.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about giving this next guy a call?
Let's do it.
Let's try it here. I think we're ready for it. We'll see if it works.
All right, guest number 2. I don't know. I know who the guest list is. I don't know what order Tanner's going in here, so we're ringing.
Let's see. I think he's on vacation right now too, so we'll see if he
Two. We're not on vacation.
Well,
we're
we're on a work trip.
Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, Professor Shans, is that you?
It is me.
From
Look
the
what I got
desk
here.
of the professor?
Yeah. Professor Shans, you're live on the Massenomics podcast. I believe, as Stained said it best, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Who said that?
Stained. It's been a
Who
while.
knows? Oh, Stain.
Yeah.
I was like, is that some new Massenomics guy that I don't know?
Nope, just old Stained.
Old Stain.
just
Well,
butt
you guys
rock.
got all the
New metal.
nicknames, so it has been a while.
When was the last time you were on the Massenomics podcast, do you think?
Oh, God. You would probably know better than I would, but it was definitely in the basement of your old house.
Well, it's
Might have
Tyler's
been-
house, right?
Of Tyler's or Tommy's? Or
Oh, yeah.
think it
No,
was
Tyler's.
Yeah.
If I had to take a random guess, I would say episode 80 or 90, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I think it might have been the one my brother-in-law got roped into, too.
yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it has been a while. Stain was right. And we thought no better time than episode 500 here at Mount Rushmore to bring you back on the show. Like, we've been saving this for a special occasion, and here we are, a very special occasion.
Yeah, I'm truly honored, truly.
So tell us what you remember about the very beginning of Massenomics. What does that storyline look like for you back in like 2014 or 2015?
So I feel like I truly am the only person that has this story to the actual literal origin of Massenomics. So one day at the YMCA in Aberdeen, South Dakota, Tanner's setting up this tripod. He's filming himself lifting, and I'm like, well, that's a little unusual. That was before people did that,
Yeah.
Like,
That
that
really
wasn't a
was.
normal thing at that point.
That's a good point. That was actually before people did that.
Like, that was a
Yeah.
complete oddity
Yeah.
at that time.
Right.
And it wasn't a cell phone. Like, you had a literal camera, I think.
Camcorder.
It was a camcorder.
Yeah. It might have been a VHS camcorder. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
might
It
have
was that
actual
long
tapes
ago.
in it, possibly.
But yeah, so he's setting it up and filming himself lifting, and I'm like, okay. And then I noticed like you were putting it on YouTube, and I'm like, well, I'm like, are you doing a thing? And he's like, yeah, I might be doing a thing. I'm like, so I like doing things. Like, this sounds cool. Like, what's your plan with this? You're like, well, I don't know. I'm just doing a thing. And I'm like, I want to do the thing too. So let's do something. And I'm pretty sure that was the origin of Massenomics. It was literally just like, oh, let's do a thing. We don't know what the thing is, but we're going to do it. And I think funnily enough, like, that's been your guys' entire business plan, I'm pretty sure, from that day till now. Because I think you guys just do things. You're like, well, what's Massenomics? I don't know. We just do things.
Yeah. You're not totally wrong. It's only been refined slightly since that time.
Yeah. And the things that we do have changed a little bit over 10 years, but it's still kind of true. Like, that's fairly accurate. That really is how it started, though. I mean, that's true. And you're like, well, I like to talk about, training, nutrition, stuff like that. So really what it originally was there at the very beginning was YouTube videos too. Like, that's the thing. Before it was even a podcast, it was,
some might even say Aberdeen strength training.
Aberdeen strength training before it was even Massenomics. That's right. Yeah. So what did you record off of? Because you would record videos like in your house and stuff.
Yeah, in my little apartment in South Sioux City. Like, I did.
Did you buy a camcorder or something?
Yes, I did. It was not a cell phone.
Yeah.
So I also did a camcorder, and then I had like a little, like, I don't know, 2-foot marker board that I used to draw things on and write concepts on, and then I would record in front of that. God, those were some terrible videos.
But they all still exist. Have you ever gone back and looked at any of them?
So that was going to be my next question. I'm like, you still don't have those on the channel, do you?
They're very much out there.
We were just talking to Tyler, and he's like, is there any way you could remove those early episodes of the podcast? And the same is true for the YouTube. No, we cannot. It tells the story, I think.
Oh man, it's as embarrassing as looking back on Facebook posts from like when Facebook started. Maybe worse.
Yes. Awesome.
What's funny? I was thinking about those videos. I was like backing up one of my hard drives, and I'm switching to a new computer, and I had a whole bunch of Massenomics stuff that I was going through. Tanner, I don't know if you remember, but Joel O'Daniel used to comment on like every one of my videos and just be a complete smartass to me. And I was just going through some of our conversations, and there was some pretty good banter back then.
Some maybe the people change over time too, but there's still people that just live to do that to us still to this day too. So that doesn't.
Is it still Joel?
Not as. I mean, me might pop in there eventually.
It's Joel, but yeah, it's that same type of comment. It exists to this day.
One other thing, Sean, this will mean nothing to most people listening, but it'd be a funny story for you. As we're recording here today at Mount Rushmore, we're in the open air where people are walking by and looking at Mount Rushmore, and none other than Dirk Waite walks by and stops and talks to me during the podcast. He says, LRC water polo team represent Lake Region Conference, and keeps on walking. So I just know you would appreciate that yourself.
Gosh.
Yeah,
I might be the only other person that would appreciate that. Wow. Dirk Wade.
So oddly enough,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's where we're at with Massenomics. I mean, I could ask this question, but I already know the answer. Would you have assumed Massenomics would existed back in 2014, that we'd be in 2025, and it would exist and be recording its 500th episode? And obviously the answer is no.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. In fact, I remember having a distinct conversation with you about the podcast and being like back when I was still part of it, and being like, do we want to keep doing this podcast thing? Is this going anywhere? And at the time you're like, I'll do it a little bit longer and we'll see if it, takes off or anything. So absolutely not. But I think it's awesome that it still does.
Somehow it persists. Okay.
So it was crazy. I was at a fundraising event the other day, and some guy came up and talked to me who knew me like kind of loosely through my work and stuff like that. And he's like, so you still doing like that fitness stuff? And I'm like, the fitness stuff? I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, like on your LinkedIn, you have like something with a company that does fitness stuff. And I had completely forgot that I have like my time in Massenomics on LinkedIn. I'm like, there's another thing. Like, maybe I should remove that so people don't go and look at the YouTube videos.
Well, it's somewhat at this point. If you put Massenomics on something, like there's enough stuff there, though. It's actually like become a pertinent thing on LinkedIn almost at a certain point.
True. True. It's a double-edged sword because it's like a legitimate company that does legitimate things now.
Right.
But then there's my piece of it prior to that. That's like, what is this? And why would this guy ever put it on his LinkedIn?
Yeah. What about one other story? Just this weekend, you were on a trip, and what happened in the airport to you?
Yeah, so I was wearing my my bench T-shirt, which I do like to wear. I travel with it just because it's interesting. I like to see if anyone notices it, and I'll be damned if more often than not, I feel like someone notices my bench shirt, and they're like, "Oh, like, are you like Massenomics?" And they're wearing something too, and they point to it. Like this guy at the airport, he was in a hard hat and like pointed. He had like a sticker and pointed to it. So he's like, "Are you part of the crew?" And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think I am. But like, I know Tanner really well, and like, him and I are like really good friends and stuff. And he's like, "Wait a minute." He's like, "Are you Shantz? I recognize your voice from like the early podcast." And I'm like, "Oh boy."
Did you ever find out? Did you ever find out who that was?
I'm not sure who it was. He never like mentioned anything in the Discord or anything.
Listener at that point,
That's a great story. And that was would that have been in Omaha? Is that right?
Yeah, it was in the Omaha airport, and I would have stopped and talked to him sooner, but it was the airport, and we're like in a rush to get going. So actually, I felt kind of bad because I kind of like, "Oh yeah, nice to meet you," and got out of there.
Yeah.
So,
great story though. All right. Well, it was good to catch up on episode 500. I guess we'll be calling for episode 1000 when that comes around.
Oh boy.
So
just pencil that.
I don't even know. I mean, if it makes 1,000, I mean that's super impressive. But I don't know. I don't even know if I'll be up for going on the Massenomics podcast at that point. What could we possibly talk about at that point?
We'll be almost 50. We'll figure it out then.
All right, sounds good.
Awesome. See you, Sean.
See ya.
All right, later, guys.
The walk down memory lane continues.
Yes, it does. Kind of fun stuff, isn't it?
On the podcast.
I like his description of how it started because that is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think we should do a Mount Rushmore segment since we got a couple. So I think we should save our Mount Rushmore of episodes for the last part. So what about our Mount Rushmore of segments? So we're going to pick our 4 favorite segments of the podcast. And should I run down the list that I wrote down first of segments, or do we want to just like...
Yeah, maybe, because I don't know if we need to go in depth on every one of these.
We'll just mention each one a little bit. So do you have the list too?
Yeah, I got the list.
Okay,
here.
so first one is what's in the can. And that came around where we drink sparkling waters and we talk about them.
And
we've done that
you showing up with a LaCroix. I didn't even know what it was at the time.
Is that true? Like,
I remember you'd show up to Tyler's house with a
LaCroix, and everyone's like, "What is that?"
I didn't know what this was, and you would always drink it, and I'm like, "Oh, this is that hippie water that doesn't taste like anything." And the joke became like, "Well, we're going to make a tasting game out of this because it doesn't taste like anything."
Right.
And
we've done that for hundreds of episodes.
Done that a lot.
Then what was next?
Fitness's finest. This was somewhat of a short-lived segment, but this is where we
very
would
memorable though segment.
Yeah, we would just review or talk through some of the gimmicky home gym. I shouldn't even say home gym. Yeah, actually, a lot of it was all the gimmicky like on TV buy fitness products.
Right.
And maybe the takeaway from that was, does it fit under the bed?
Yes.
That's the ultimate
it was
takeaway.
like, does it fit under the bed? Then it was overrated, underrated.
I mean, that goes without saying, right?
We'll get more to that one, I think. Like, we'll talk more about that. Then what?
Supplements, real or fake? This is another one that
seemed like went hand in hand with Fitness's finest.
It was right around that same time. I remember trying to think of just random dumb segments we could do, and that one was really funny. Just the challenge with that is there's only so many insanely named supplements out there, and once you get through those, then it's a little tougher to play that game.
I also think, curious your opinion, I think ChatGPT AI ruined some of things like that. Like that's slightly ruined by ChatGPT because it took a certain level of originality
to come up
with stuff like that. And now when you think about that, you're like, if you listen to that now, you'd be like, oh yeah, they just used ChatGPT and it did all that stuff.
Yeah, because back then it was like running a bunch of Google searches and looking through forums.
And now you would just be like, hey, come up with 10 names of supplements, 5 of them that are real but almost seem fake, and 5 of them that are fake but almost seem real.
Oh yeah, because it would come up with the fake one. That's right. Yeah, I had to come up with the fake ones to try and trick you. I didn't.
And you had to come up with real ones that didn't seem real.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now it would do it in 3 seconds.
Yeah, not as cool anymore.
Yeah. Heavy Thoughts.
Oh, I actually forgot about that. That was a short-lived segment.
Heavy Thoughts was a vibe. That's where maybe we brought up something more. Would serious be the right word, or just like different tone, or
inquisitive,
just like
reflective?
like the thought. Here's a classic Heavy Thoughts. With weights, it really isn't our turn. We really don't own them. We never own the classic Heavy Thoughts segment. Is none of these weights we're buying do we ever own. It's just our turn with them, right? Mm-hmm. And most possessions, you say that as long as they're not consumables. It's just if it's a long lasting,
that's really made to last.
Yeah, it's a long lasting item. You're like, who owns this? Like a house.
You're just paying.
You own it for a while and then you sell it, and all of a sudden you're like, well, that's not mine anymore. I thought that was like a house to me is the thing. It's so mine until the day you sell it, and you're like, yeah, that's someone else's.
And
now.
you think about it, a lot of people don't live in a house for more than 10 years. You know,
Right.
and it's like, it's like the biggest thing in your life, but 10 years later, you're
but
gone.
the weights are okay.
Comment of the week.
Yeah.
That one.
Instagram/YouTube comment of the week.
I forgot about that one too. That one died out a little bit because we just got, it felt like some less dumb comment. I mean, I know they always exist, but What's in the Sack? All time classic segment right there. Still
very early, might have been one of the earliest segments actually.
Definitely could be.
To keep in mind as we're doing the list. Not on the list, but open powerlifting stat of the week.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I like that. There was a little collab with our friends over at Open Powerlifting.
Yeah. Sports and books. We bring that one back on occasion. Not really in its full glory, but
that is a good one, though.
We do homage to some of these segments at some points in time.
Supporting our supporting members. Relatively new segment.
Relatively new.
I mean, only a few hundred episodes old at this point, so relatively new. Tanner explains the Midwest. That was a good one.
Would you like come up with a topic and then you'd like pose it to me?
Yeah, I would just drop out. Yeah. I would just like make a phrase.
Tanner,
like,
could you explain this to people?
I think one of them was, all right, Tanner, I got a flat of pounders. We're going to hit these up, go to loggers, then we're going top shelf at the zoo. Explain that situation. Explain what that means.
That's a good one. I wonder if...
I got a flat of pounders. We're going to do those. We're going to go to the circus, get double dipped wings. After that, we're going top shelf at the zoo. What does that mean, Tanner?
Yeah. And like if you're listening to this now and you haven't heard those episodes, you would still be like, what's that English?
Yeah. And if you've been to the meet, if you ever been to Aberdeen now, you go, I get all of that. I understand every word of that.
I think maybe Whippin' Shitties was...
Oh, Whippin' Shitties could have been in there too.
One of our classic discussions that I see people still post viral clips on other podcasts like 7 years after we had that discussion that they do that and they get a viral... Mm-hmm. And I'm like... We did that.
We explained Whippin' Shitties long ago.
Yes. Reading podcast reviews. Mm-hmm. We haven't done that as much lately. Leave us a 5-star review. Now would be the time. Leave us a 5-star review if you haven't. Tyler was talking about it. We're well over 600. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That number supposedly maybe matters still. Who knows?
Has Tommy seen it?
One of my favorites.
We
might need to bring Has Tommy seen it back.
We had probably a good 10-week stretch of that one going. I came to the conclusion. I thought I'd seen some movies in my life. Apparently, I haven't seen any movies in my life.
I loved Has Tommy seen it, and it's like always ends with an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. And
just shocking how few movies apparently I've seen.
We actually... Maybe we'll cap the episode off where we talk about where we hint at some future plans and we hint at future ideas. But I'd say there's like a movie themed idea.
Yeah,
we could incorporate the podcast. That would be a big shift in the paradigm, but maybe that'll come on later too.
Final one on the list. Best lift to gauge strength, or a more recent take, best lift to what's the worst lift to gauge strength? I like that one too.
This is a listener feedback question from a Q&A. It was Big Kevin, I believe, that originally. And we just started asking everyone this for months, where what's the best lift to gauge someone's strength? It was this elaborate question, and we'd get their answers. And so it was basically a segment at one point in time. But on Mount Rushmore, there's only room for 4.
Okay, well, I think there's
I think there's a home run choice.
I actually think there's a couple home run choices. Actually, I think what's in the can belongs on here. It's so pivotal. It's so pivotal. Pivot
and so long running.
Yeah, and long running to just what we've done at Massenomics. And there's a reason when we go on gym tours, people are there greeting us with cans of sparkling water.
Yeah,
like, that's just become a known thing.
That's true. Like people do it all the time.
That's part of the shtick. People just do that. They know that's the thing.
I kind of transcended the segment.
Yeah, that's why I think what's in the can belongs there. And then there's another one that I think is an easy belong, and that's overrated, underrated.
That's the one I was going to say. It's probably got to be that. It was probably more than a segment at a certain point in time too, where it was on every single episode for probably 300 episodes, I would say, where we ended every episode that way. It was long before we even had guests, where I would just shoot 4 topics time. Like I spent a section of time every week just thinking of 4 topics to ask Tommy. And then eventually when we shifted more into having guests, we always prepared these topics for guests. And it was like hitting them with a cross punch every time where they're like, oh, how you know so much about me and what I do, like the secret stuff. And underrated was the perfect way to get people with that stuff.
Right, and to get them out of the lifting track,
right,
of the lifting training track.
That became a really valuable tool for us, actually, in the interview process, I would say.
It did. The other thing I'll say I really liked about overrated, underrated over the years is I feel like it was a way to force some experimental content into the podcast, where whether it was us or with a guest, where we got to hear and make them do different ideas, and it just turned into this thing of you could see what stuck. And I would have a hard time saying what it was, but I think some good concepts and ideas came of that over the years.
Do you guys want to say hi? Okay. Yeah, so overrated, underrated, what's in the can? So there's room for 2 more.
Oh, this is where it gets
front runners?
A little trickier.
I was going to say there was one here I wondered about what's in the sack, just because it was so early.
Yeah, Tanner sack.
Like,
and I mean, we still do it to this day too.
Right.
I think longevity
and
plays
early,
a big part in this.
like how early it.
That's a good one. That is a very good one. I 100% believe it belongs on there. So that leaves the 4th and final one. And I could make the argument for several on here, but I think to tie this whole thing together, I think it has to come back to supporting our supporting members.
There you go. I like that. I think that's the right choice. Yeah.
And you could also actually even honorable mention things that were not mentioned on here. You could say Certified Training Facility of the Week could belong.
Right.
I just had one other one in my mind and I already forgot it, but I think supporting our supporting members brings the whole thing together. It's that community element that I believe we do so well, and it's just a way to...
And it's become the most important part of everything, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Everything built off of that.
Yes.
So, yep. That's it. That is a home run choice.
All right. So playing it back here, we had supporting our supporting members. Yeah. What's in the can?
Over under,
and
what's in Tanner's sack?
There you go. Yeah.
That's it.
Right there. You want to start a podcast? Take those 4 segments. You got a podcast right now.
That is all you really need. Okay. Do you think we do one final call for the episode? Let's try and see if we can get one. It ties into the end of that Mount Rushmore, actually.
Okay.
So we've heard from Professor Shans. We heard from Dr. Effenston E., which kind of like tied in how this all started. And then I think the final piece of the puzzle here.
I believe I know who this is. Tanner gave me some hints, so...
All right. Ring-a-ding-ding. Hopefully he's ready. We're a little bit later than scheduled for him, I think. So we'll see if he's still...
Hello.
Is that you, number one?
It's me.
Who does number one work for?
What's up, guys?
Dodzilla in the house. How's it going?
Good. Just last leg of a 6-hour drive from Pittsburgh.
Excellent. Were you competing this weekend? What were you doing?
No, we were over at a wedding.
Okay.
Some of Kelly's family.
Be a lot cooler if you had competed.
It would be a lot cooler.
So anyone that doesn't know, Big Scott was the first ever supporting member of the Massenomics podcast, so we thought it would be very fitting to get him on for a few minutes for episode 500. Just basically what you're doing, Scott, is you're representing the entire group of supporting members by having your voice on the show this week.
Oh, gee, no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. So if this doesn't go well, you're going to have an angry mob after you. So basically we're just saying, we're saying it to you and we're saying it to everyone. Thanks for supporting. And, in your case specifically, you started supporting before anyone even had an idea of what that even meant.
It was cool.
Yeah, you just clicked to give us a donation when you didn't even know what you were donating for.
We didn't even really know what you were donating for, to be honest.
Right,
exactly. I just happened to get on the website that day to see if there was anything new, and I scrolled down and saw it, and I was like, yeah, I love these guys.
Yeah, and then you go on to become the first ever member of the Jacket Level Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
And like with many supporting members, you're just our buddy now too. You know, at first it might have been you were listening to guys doing a podcast on the internet or whatever, but now there's like hundreds of people that started that way, and they're just like our buddies. We can see them once a year, twice a year, 4 times a year, once every 3 years, and it doesn't really matter. It's like, oh, it's our old friends, you know?
Right, the amount of friends that have came out of this is unreal. Whether it's just seeing them at the Live Hard, Live Easy, or it's talking to them almost every day on Instagram.
Yeah, I guess it really is the friends we've made along the way, then, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we've already taken enough from you over the years, so we didn't need to take much more, but just wanted to say thank you for supporting over all the years, and we're just getting started.
Well, for the entire crew, we just want to say thank you for starting this entire thing and giving everybody ways to connect, and the community that you have built. It's just incredible. The amount of friends that everybody has been able to make because of 2 guys who started a podcast. It's unreal. So thank you guys.
Well, thanks a lot, Scott.
Heck yeah, brother.
Means a lot coming from you.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's who knows if it's in Ohio or Michigan or South Dakota or Kentucky or what state we'll see you next. But when we see you, we'll catch up then.
Well, I hope it's Michigan.
It'll happen someday. Mark it down.
Yes, sir.
All right. See you, buddy.
Scott.
All right, boys. Thanks a lot.
See ya. Dodzilla.
The one and only Dodzilla. Okay. That's it. That concludes the call section. Oof. That's I had maybe some other people on the list that we could pinch and call, and I'm like, maybe we keep it to the people that really it's been know, some of the historically super significant ones in that way.
I like that.
And I did think that was my thought with Dodds. It's like, no, he's like representing the crew, the supporting member crew. Because I'd love to call all of them. You know, I'd love to get everyone on here, but we just don't have time. We'll have to save that for episode 1,000. Maybe for episode 1,000, we will make 1,000 calls.
We'll say that from roughly 10 years from now.
Yeah. We did supporting our sporting members, Certified Training Facility of the Week. I'm going to read another sponsor, and then maybe speaking of sponsors, we should do the in memoriam, small in memoriam segment. So this week, even from Mount Rushmore, still our newest sponsor of the podcast is EliteFTS. You can head over to EliteFTS.com. They have a discount code set up for us. It's MASS10 for all of you that you can purchase anything from the site there. They usually have weekly sales that are also running, and then you can stack MASS10 on top of that to save even more. The thing we use most frequently, that we use all the time, that we're kind of buying all the time, is bands. Like in Massenomics Gym, they cover one wall. It's nothing but a band wall from EliteFTS. Tommy's got a bunch in his home gym, so I do think whether it's commercial gym, whether it's something you're putting in your gym bag, or something you're going to hang on the wall in your home gym, head over to EliteFTS for bands, also chalk, any of that small stuff, and then big equipment. You know, they have commercial grade, home gym grade, and my favorite thing is probably still the TP, though. Always filling the Massenomics cupboard with EliteFTS Multiply TP. So thank you to EliteFTS, discount code MASS10. Do you want to do an ad, or should we do an in memoriam?
Let's just move on to in memoriam.
Okay.
Let's keep this rolling.
Okay, so this is a shout out to the old sponsors, the companies that no longer exist.
That are no longer with us.
They're no longer with us.
I don't have any sad music or anything. I was just thinking, do I have any sad music to put on the?
No, it's not my soundboard.
Yeah, it's not your board.
Yeah, I was gonna go hit it with the Disturbed word. No, mommy, not.
Yeah, right. Don't have that today.
Yeah. It looks so much like my board. I just thought that was my board over there. Tricked myself. First one, Fusion Sports Performance, one of our old sponsors of the show.
No longer with us.
No longer
gone,
with
but
us.
not forgotten.
RIP Fusion Sports Performance. And then the other one, do you remember it?
Was it Hybrid?
Hybrid Performance Method. As far as I know, they don't exist.
I saw a post yesterday that claimed that maybe they're not dead, but
not dead yet.
They're not. They might be dead for now.
Yes. Okay. Do we talk about any other? Oh wait, we still got to do our Mount Rushmore of episodes ourselves.
Yeah, we got that one left.
And then also just any in general reminiscing that we had, and then also just some future where we're going in the future, I think would be how we wrap it up.
Yeah. Okay, we'll wrap it up with the future talk because there's some crazy stuff there.
Big things happening as per usual.
And like
with
not
us.
joking.
Yeah.
But what else? I don't know. Reminiscing's hard.
Well, here's what I'd say.
500 episodes.
We didn't talk about it, but we made this a double family trip.
We did.
Like,
First
we brought
time
both
ever
of our
we've done that for Massenomics.
Yeah, we brought our whole family out here to the Black Hills. We rented a big barn dominium Airbnb. All of us staying in. My oldest son was gone because he had a cross country meet. Otherwise, our entire families, which is kind of chaos, getting all of our group together.
Let's see, it's 5 kids under 6, 7.
Yeah, 7. Yeah. Which is fun.
No, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun memory for them. They get to hang out with each other, and our kids are excited about leaving up to it. It's like our kids don't know each other that well,
No.
but you can hype kids up on like, oh, we get to hang out with Sonny, and they're like, ooh, I can't wait.
Yep.
So that it's kind of fun like that. And we go around and we've been doing some touristy Black Hills stuff. It's really fun. But my point, our families didn't even barely but exist when we started the podcast.
No,
I don't even know if you were married.
I was not married.
Yeah.
The real question is, was I even, and I know we've said this before, was I even dating my wife at the time?
Because it would have been 10 years ago.
I don't think I was. I think
think
I started dating her just a little after the podcast started.
So you've had 2 kids since then. I had just gotten married just before, and since the podcast started, have had 3 more kids. So we collectively had 5 kids just since the podcast started. I already had 1, but and I was just married. Like, I had a very young new family at the time we started. Nothing like what it is now.
No.
I've moved a couple times, bought and sold houses since then.
I moved 1, 2, 3 times.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, 3 times.
Sold 2 houses, bought 2. Well, and actually you lived. Yeah, so you lived in the
including moving to a different town.
Right.
Yeah, actually, and that's the other thing. The podcast survived not only just several moves in town, but me moving 200 miles from you and still keeping this going.
Right.
Where that would have been a bit of a technical challenge if we did that the day this first started, that would have been a little bit more challenging to keep this going.
But we were very worried about that at the time.
Oh, it was.
It was like,
there was
oh my God, what are we doing? Like, how are we good? It'd be way easier if that happened in 2025.
Yeah.
Well, it's also easier in hindsight that we know how well we can facilitate it. But at the time, that was like
a big deal.
It's like, oh my God, what are we going to do?
Almost sleepless nights figuring this whole thing out.
No, we were actually up, I think, until like 2 in the morning, a few nights trying to figure it out.
Like on actual weeknights, it's like, we got stuff to do tomorrow. We just have to call it quits here.
Yeah. So my point being that it has survived a lot of changes in terms of the podcast and just our lives. Personally, a lot of changes that has continued to exist, and we have never not posted a new episode.
Job and career changes too.
True. Like I worked in a different town at a different job when we started the podcast.
Yeah. And not only that, but also
you started your own business in the time that the podcast started.
And then even since, there's been a lot of family things that come up that could have very easily been like, no, we need to take a break for a week or 2.
We never took a break.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Looking back on how it's just always been the thing.
But that's because that's been our philosophy, though.
It has been. And it's never been a chore.
Actually,
I would say this to me, though, it's never felt like a chore.
No.
Maybe in the beginning when we didn't know what we were doing, it's like, it was fun, but it was like, okay, like, how much longer is this going to be a thing?
Right.
Because it's like, what are we doing here? And then, like, as time has gone on, I will say this, I look forward to it every single week.
Oh, it's a break
it is.
from the stressful parts of life.
Yes, I personally don't post much on social media because I freaking hate writing captions. I hate doing that whole thing. I hate getting my photo ready, which is dumb because I do that stuff for my actual job. I think that's probably
why.
I do so much stuff for my other job that I'm like, no, I don't want to do any more posting. I don't want to get this photo ready. I don't want to do this stuff. And I do so little of that. But then I also think of like, no, but the amount of content that I'm a part of online is so big. And it's because of this. Like, I feel like this is my outlet for online content.
Right. Yeah. And it is. And because I don't post much personally either. And if this didn't exist, I don't know that I would.
Actually, we both have said that multiple times. Like, I don't know if it was for Massenomics. Might not even have social media.
Nobody might see anything from us ever. Like maybe 5 times a year, probably, honestly.
That's about all I do right now.
Because half the personal stuff I do is because it ties even to Massenomics. Like literally half of it still ties back to Massenomics. There was a couple other big changes, but I do think that that's the real reason that I think it's existed, because that was just, I was going to say, we talked with Tyler and Sean's, the business survived changing the structure of the company, that's what kills a lot of things like this is Tyler moved away. he ran the podcast. We figured out within the week how we were going to continue to. It wasn't perfect right away.
No.
And it evolved.
And we even talked about because there was a couple episodes where we did it at Massenomics gym and my brother was on.
Yeah, we were
like, is this what it is?
We were treading water to to find our groove on that.
And that's when because I even remember when Tyler said he wasn't going to be on, we said, we could just do every other week or a couple times a month. Like that wouldn't be a big deal. And it was like, but for whatever reason, we just kept it going.
And to me, that would have been a big deal. Like if we would have went down that road, that kills it, I think.
Yeah.
Like that.
I mean, there's so many so much content, ideas.
It had to be a 3-person show forever, which is a funny thought now because you're like, 3-person, get a little crowded in here. There's 3 of us. And then also with Professor Shans, he was going a different direction, and it probably, I mean, he even said it himself. He's like, what is he was confused to him, it was like, what are we even doing with this? Like, that's basically the truth. And we're like,
rightfully so. Like, it was like,
and he had moved too. He had also moved and was less a part of it. So, but we had to figure all that out, and we had to have difficult conversations about that. Like, honestly, and that's the type of stuff that will sometimes kill something like this, and it endured that as well.
And looking back, maybe to me, actually the most unbelievable part of this whole thing is when you look at all of the pieces of content that have been made. I mean, we're talking thousands.
Yeah.
Talking about the number of hours of content out there. I mean, it's actually to the point where it's impossible to completely consume everything that Massenomics has ever done.
Right.
There's just so much stuff out there between Instagram posts and YouTube videos and podcasts. Like you can't go back in Instagram that far and look at everything. It's just, it's like impossible.
There's 7,000 Instagram posts. Yeah.
And I what's kind of crazy is just that sheer volume of things, how there never really was. Like back in the day, we saw this happen to a lot of people that were around at the same time as us. They had a post or they had something that changed everything for them. Right. Like they blew up, someone caught on to it, and they had like this surge in popularity just for that to fizzle out and for them to never get it again. We never really had that one thing.
Maybe good that never happened.
It might be, looking back. Like there was definitely...
Because you would have seen it going away like it always inevitably does, and then... You're left it's like the low after the high, and then
back
you crash
then when you don't know what's going on. It was, but we never had that where it was, we did this one thing and it just changed everything. It was always just steady progress. Like there were some things that went bigger than others, but it was never like we woke up the next day and said things are different now. Like that never happened.
No. There was things that we'd get really excited about. Like the
absolutely.
best thing still to this day, it's like you text each other and it's like, man, this is working.
Yeah, we still, just for example, this episode 500, the Gluck YouTube video just came out, and that was a great YouTube video
and we're just like pumped about it. We're like, look at the numbers. Like, this is working.
Yeah, and that summarizes to me Massenomics is it's the same thing as with the gym. It's just been steady progress over years, and now at this point, damn near a decade. Yeah. And that's just how the company's always worked, and maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, but for whatever reason, that's what's kept this going.
Yeah, I think it's good. So that's kind of the history lesson, right? I mean, there's 1,000 other things that have happened in the meantime.
You take from this, you can do a lot. Dave Tate actually had a post about this just recently. He started doing this series on like business. I don't even know what he calls it. Yeah. Business sayings, business advice. And he said, simply outlasting your competition is like overlooked as how valuable that is, especially in business. He goes, if you're not in business, you can't make money. So just outlasting people is sometimes all you need to do.
And outlasting doesn't just mean, it's not that simple though. Like the reason that him saying that is so impactful, because outlasting means you made just enough changes to be able to do that.
Like you're staying you don't like, okay, you can pull up
and
someone
that's what I think we've done.
Channel.
We've changed enough
that we can still, I think, stay relevant in our little corner of the internet, and we still are entertaining to people. Like we could still be putting out stuff and have 10 viewers.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I guess we technically outlasted, but how relevant are we? You could still argue how relevant really are we to this day. But there's still, at the end of the day, is people that I believe do really enjoy Massenomics. Right. And as long as there's people enjoy this, we'll keep doing it.
We'll keep doing it. Okay. Should we do the Mount Rushmore of episodes?
Oh, God.
So are we going to do Mount Rushmore of episodes or Mount Rushmore of guests? Because it could be different.
I think it's of guests.
Because if we're going to do Mount Rushmore of episodes, I'm going to include episode 400, probably episode 1 for as terrible as it is.
I think we got to do guests, because some of these guests, too, I would struggle to say what time was that they were on.
Okay.
But if you know what, I think I would let you include an episode in here, too, though.
Okay, of not a guest.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I think we'll play this a little looser. It can just be the Mount Rushmore of podcast moments, maybe. And I'm changing the rules too much.
Yeah,
damn it.
But we have to agree, though. We have to come up with
That's
4.
the only rule. We have to agree on whatever this is. So it's the
Right.
well, this is the pinnacle themes of Massenomics.
Okay.
I don't know.
Should I just rattle off some ones that I think are in
Yeah.
the equation?
Yeah.
And we're gonna. So if we are gonna say just episodes, to me, episode 1, episode 400, episode number when Tyler leaves and it's just the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say, I mean, almost this episode 300 was a big run, but then just guest episodes. Grant from the Strength Co.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Mike, he appears so many times in our top list. Dave Tate, for obvious reasons. Jim Wendler, Coop, Juji Mufu, Chad Wesley Smith live and in person, John Hack, Johnny Candido was a kind of a fun one, Ed Cohn, Jessica Bittner, who's been on the show multiple times, Julian Pinot for some fun reasons, Derek Poundstone, possibly Greg Knuckles, Dan Bell, who's been on the show several times, Bud Jeffries. That's my list. Almost off the top of my head that I'm just like, who of these guests are in the conversation for on the Mount Rushmore of episodes? So is there any easy pickings for you, I guess? That's the first
I've
question.
been thinking about this list a lot, and there's not easy
There
pickings
is not.
for me.
There's
Because
not.
I could make the argument for any of these people, and I could also make the argument to substitute these people out for anyone on this list, because these are all great names on here.
Right.
Okay, this one is special to me for a few reasons, is the Chad Wesley Smith one.
Right.
The fact that he said, I will come to Aberdeen and do an in-person one was crazy to me, because
it was at a point in time when that was like, that would be way less crazy today.
oh yeah, like today it's like, well, yeah, you should come. There's reasons.
Like, that's mutually beneficial.
Yeah, we got content. We can make
Yeah.
this happen. But when Chad said that, it was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, this could be a thing. You want to do this? And when he said, I'm bringing my video guy, it was
Yeah.
crazy. It just
Yeah.
felt like just the most unbelievable moment. And he's a guy that from day one, we'd always looked up to, from his training videos to his content on programming and just everything. And then to have it come full circle and have him basically just come hang out with us, do a podcast, shoot videos, go out that night. That's a top Massenomics moment for me. And then we got to pay it back the other way by going there and meeting up with him and Marissa too. So that's,
I think for now we at least got to put that is on the Mount Rushmore, unless we find a good reason that has to come off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good with that. So are we just doing guests then, or
no? I'll take episodes, because I could very easily make an argument for episode 400.
That's what I think. I think episode 400,
how this whole thing works.
Yeah, and I really like episode 400.
Yeah.
Still, if you haven't listened to that, I would go check out episode 400, because we did our top 40 moments, which really summarizes it's really still relevant today. You know, there's been things that would be added to that if we did our top 50. We considered even this being our top 50, but I'm like, it's kind of a repeat of that episode, and we didn't want to do it that way either.
Mm-hmm.
So I think episode 400 would belong on there, kind of.
I agree.
Okay, so we've got 2 on there. What about the Juji Mufu episode in person at his? Because that was also kind of, or the Dr. Mike.
See, those were 2 other names very high on my list too, because
I would almost like those 2 to share a spot, because those 2 were similar at this turning point of this shift of what we do.
And we touched on this, but they did kind of change our thinking on what is possible for this whole thing.
Yeah.
Not only from just it being these bigger projects that we went out and did.
Right.
And it seemed like at a point in time that, that would never happen. But then it also did just make us realize, like, yeah, we can do more than we even thought with this whole thing.
Right. Okay, so those are contenders for sure. Grant, who's been on 3 times, is a big one, because we've become such good buddies with Grant.
That was
done
like
so many things with
him. How many
him.
people do you meet for the first time on a podcast and then
become,
go on to become friends with them?
Like your close personal friends.
And that's a weird one, because that is where it all started. Was we basically had a conversation with him on a podcast, and to this day,
we've hung out with him in person 10 times since then. Or whatever,
on the East Coast, on the West Coast, in the Dakotas, like
at his house, at my house.
He's gone on to sponsor this podcast for a very long time. We have bought many of his products over the years. Like
I could make a strong case for that.
I know. It's a big one too.
To me, like right now I'm sitting at episode 400, Chad Wesley Smith, Grant, and then this is cheating, but taking Dr. Mike and Juji Mufu and making them share a spot, because they're related in time frame and in just like that similar shift. Or if you make an alien face like those 2 to 5.
Yeah,
And like, and anyone else, Dan Bell, you can make an argument for. That was the in-person one on the episode 51.
True.
It was a big deal, and like it was a really big deal to us. We made him walk through the park to come record that episode
on
with
Arnold
us.
weekend.
There's just other ones on the list that were cool to me to get on. John Hack has been, on the list multiple times. Coop did the one in person. Jim Windler and Dave Tate were both just really big ones for me. Derek Poundstone's in that category as well. Bud Jeffries, who, went on to die shortly after that, like is kind of, is a big episode, obviously. But I think that's kind of the list, unless you think otherwise.
That 5 is... it's not a Mount Rushmore, but you know what? This is our 500th episode. I think we get a
we
bonus.
We can do 5.
Yeah, we'll get a bonus episode.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That's okay. I like that. I like that list. So are we? Do we have one more ad?
I think we have one ad left because I've been getting up and checking these.
So do you want me to read the?
Yeah,
the
you
final?
might as well finish out. I'll give this camera one more check. I think it's Build Fast. I believe, right?
Yes, South Dakota company. Fitting. We saved them for last year at Mount Rushmore. Build Fast formula. The supplements we know, we use, we trust. Been taking them for several years now. We use their protein. It's their 80-20 protein, which is 80% casein, 20% whey. I like the chocolate flavor is my personal favorite. There's also vanilla, I think a salted caramel one, but chocolate's my favorite. Love their protein powder. They also started coming out with creatine recently. We take that. And then their pre-workout supplements. They have their high stim, their stimulated, caffeinated pre-workout, and then also their non-caffeinated. And I use both of those. I like to actually use a scoop of both together. Mixed together, that's the secret. That's the Massenomics secret formula. So check out Build Fast formula. Discount code Massenomics will save you, I think, 10%. Yeah, 10% on every order at Build Fast. Thanks, Build Fast. Then do we talk about future?
I think so.
What's next?
I think so.
This is kind of episode 500. I think this is where we end with is what's coming next. A lot of it, unfortunately, it's a secret. And as for reasons you'll come out later, you'll see why some of that is.
If things go according to plan, I think by the end of the year, people will hopefully have an idea.
Yeah.
But this...
It's really big. So
we're not exaggerating. Actually, we use the word big a lot. This is...
The last month or two, Massenomics has, behind the scenes, gotten cranked up to 11.
Actually, I'm just forgetting about several of the topics that this actually does encompass because there's multiple things here. There's one particular idea that's something different that we've never done before.
Yep.
Somewhat unrelated to anything else that we've done. I mean, actually, it's just building. Everything we do just builds off of something previously. But this idea has me just truly, truly excited. It's something that we've kind of... This concept of what we want to do, we've bounced around several times through the years, and there's never been a way that we just can't figure out a way to tie the whole thing together.
Yep.
We finally had that aha moment about a week ago, and I damn near can't sleep at night.
We're freaking stoked about it. I'll say that. We are investing tons of time, tons of resources, tons of money. Like for us, I'll honestly just say that. A lot of Massenomics money and resources and time and just brain power getting dumped into this project, which I think the final result...
I think the final result is going to be something that only we could truly pull off.
Yes.
I don't know if there's anyone else that could pull it off quite like
and
we
I
could.
think we're going to have a lot of listeners that really enjoy it. It may not be... It's not going to be life-changing to every individual person, but to Massenomics as a whole, it's going to be a big deal.
I think so. I sure hope so. That's how we feel about it.
Yeah.
I
if we pull it off, like as in the direction we're headed.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, man.
So that's that. And that is consuming a lot of our brain power. But the thing about that, while that's going on, we're still going to continue to do a new episode of the podcast every single week. What do you think? This is the game I like to play. We're at 500 now. It would seem crazy to think we're not going to make it to 600, right?
It does. We just have too many ideas.
There's no way we're not going to make it to 600.
There's too much left to be done here.
Yeah, like 600 is in the bag, I think,
sure
right?
Feels like it.
So that would be after 10 years and beyond. That would put us at like 11, or if not going down 12. So what about 750? I don't even know what the timeline. You say that's 5 more years from now.
That's a big number, but I don't know.
If you had to bet, it would almost seem like we're going to be there, though.
We're not quitting.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Then the final question: 1,000 episodes. That's the number. I don't know what's going to happen, but I almost think the answer is no. Like if you just had to make a bet, you'd say like, I don't know, something will shift. Like the the podcasting won't exist or whatever it is.
Nothing's forever.
Right. And that's
I really like to take things one day at a time, and 1,000 is 500 weeks from now.
to double the journey to this point. That would be kind of unimaginable.
The funny thing about the journey of 1 to 500 is, as crazy as 500 sounds, at the same time, if you were to describe us, what would episode 500 be? It's like, well, that's sort of in line with what episode 1 is to a certain extent. Like,
True. Yeah.
Nothing's really shifted that much in the grand scheme of things.
No, it's not out of whack.
It hasn't turned into a tech podcast. It hasn't turned into a podcast about politics.
No.
A podcast about sports. All these things that people tend to resort to. It hasn't done that. We've been able to stay true to what we've wanted to do this whole time.
True. So I don't see that changing either.
I don't think so.
Then the YouTube is going to, I don't see that doing anything other than consistently being one new video a week every single week.
And that's when I still say, if a week doesn't happen, whatever. But
Right.
we're getting to the point where we're starting to stack 15 of these at a time.
Right.
So to not have one would be a bit of a surprise.
Right. Yeah, there could not be one for a week, or maybe it's like, sometime is it just not worth, does it a weird week? It makes sense not to put one out.
Or also there might not be one week, and there might be a week with two. We've
True.
already done that. But.
True. But obviously that revolves around the home gym tour trips that we're doing now. Like, there's no secret there. And that we have multiple more of those planned. By the time this comes out, I can't remember exactly when this comes out, we're shortly headed on another really big one with some of the biggest ones we've ever done. We've done a lot of all of them are awesome. Like, we haven't done one yet that I don't love, if I'm being
And
honest
we're
about
sitting
that.
on a batch right now of just incredible tours.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're only hitting our stride. We're just only getting better at those.
Yeah. I think we are. It is just getting a little better, a little more refined each one. Like the most recent one, as we're recording, that came out is the Gluck one. And I watched that. I'm like, got to tell you, between the way that was shot and the way it was paced and the discussion and the way we went into that, I'm like, I just feel like it's like that's exactly what we want that to be, at least.
And it is a gym tour. That is the theme that brings it all together. But at the end of the day, it's almost just a podcast of us just hanging out with friends and talking about gym life.
Yeah. The merchandise side of it, I think would stay pretty consistent for what it's been this last year or two, right? Where we're coming up soon on Black.
Though, because
true.
We're getting this bigger reach with YouTube, and it's just turning into this
where more people want
this
that
marketing
stuff.
net. Yeah, where
people
more and more
want that
people
stuff
are.
that we just. It's a different. Actually, at the beginning, we had to come out with something that caught people's eye, and that's the reason they're buying it, not because they had any idea.
It had to almost be a meme-worthy shirt.
It did. They weren't going to buy it because they cared about us. Now that's changed.
As
People buy it
time has
because
gone
they
on,
care about us.
Yeah, they want to support us. I want something that says Massenomics. I want people to know I'm on that team.
Right.
And we've had to come up with more of that, which is awesome. Because
it's
we
way
love
more
that too.
fun, actually.
Yeah.
Like, that's the apparel company I want to be, really. Like, I don't want to be the one that, like, we have to do this funny parody and that people buy
And that is
something
fun to do.
Oh,
Like,
right.
don't get me
Would
wrong.
be occasionally.
That will always be a
that'll
thing,
get
but-
mixed in. That's our personality and stuff. But what we're doing now is more fun, though. And I think Black Friday would be coming up soon. We got a ton of stuff coming for Black Friday. Like, that hasn't slowed down.
This time of year is so good. Once
Yeah.
October hits through end of the year, and then we're potentially making our biggest project ever. It's a busy time at Massenomics.
Yeah, other pieces of the puzzle, social media, that's going to continue to be what it is. Social media is ever changing. Reach on that was crushing it for a while. Then it slowed down. It'll come up and down. Here's something I haven't said on the podcast. I've become slightly less. I still like them occasionally. I enjoy less making memes than I used to. I used to love coming up with the meme that I thought was the
You're telling me
funny.
after a few thousand, you're
Right.
starting to finally get a little tired of it?
What I like to post more, we have so much content. I like to just, and even it doesn't perform as well on Instagram specifically, but I don't care because I like that more and it shows off what we're doing more. So it's more interesting to me, even if it doesn't get as broad of a reach. But then if I do get the meme idea that I like and think is funny, I still want to mix that in there because then it is fun. But I'm not sitting there thinking, how do I come up with 2 unique memes today? That's not my strategy anymore.
You know what's interesting? I was just thinking about this right now. Has the overall gym culture and internet lifting culture changed? When we first started doing this, it was very much of the, this is hardcore, this is crazy, beast mode. And I almost wonder if over time has the mentality changed of like, no, that's actually not what this is.
Yeah, I think it's changed.
You can't write those jokes as much because
everyone agrees that that's dumb.
Right.
It's like that's not even a meme because
at the time that was counter to the
Right.
common knowledge, or the counter.
Right.
It was counter to the common thought process, and now it's like, well, you're writing the joke about it, but it's like, nah,
Yeah.
we're all in on the joke now. So
Yeah.
that is interesting to think about.
Even broader of a picture. This is a question that comes up for anyone that hasn't been along on the journey as long. We both still have full-time careers outside of this, I'm serious. In the last few months, that has become this thing where it's like, man, we've always done a lot of work, and both of us do a lot of work. So it kind of works out okay. Thank God we both do that. Otherwise this would be impossible. And that's our mentality of like, it sounds lame to say it, but like the keep grinding mentality, all that stupid stuff that we're just kind of joking about, but we do that. Thankfully, otherwise this wouldn't be able to exist. But lately it's like, man, I'm saying this as a good thing. This is a lot of work now because we're figuring out a lot of things that work really well. And it's like, no, what we just need is more of it. We just more. Right. And we also are getting rewarded for that in terms of just friendships, the friends we made along the way, all that. Also financially, it becomes a bigger thing all the time where it's like, no, this is working. It's funny. I care about the money. I don't care about the money. What the money is, though, I've said this before, it's feedback that it's working. And it's like a giant game to us, like a giant fun game. And we're like, how do we make it work more? And how do we get more positive feedback in terms of dollars that it is working? And that's what we're constantly trying to feed. So for years, I thought it was an impossible thought that we basically couldn't have jobs anymore. It's not an impossible thought to me. Like it may never happen, and I would not be disappointed if that did never happen, but I can see a path where I'm like, it could get to that point that we have no choice left.
Yeah, I know.
And like, that would be a great bridge that we had to cross at that point. And I'm totally okay if it doesn't cross
right.
that bridge.
It is fine to never be there.
If it stayed just like this is still great.
It is. It's still amazing. But yeah, the at a certain point, the time, effort, actually not even the time resource, just it gets impossible because when you're both working 40-hour jobs, Massenomics is damn near feels like a 40-hour job, and then
it's
you have
more
a
than
family.
that almost that time.
We also want to be present in our families' lives too.
It's 2 40-hour jobs.
Yeah, right. Yes, it's not. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, but it's a lot for great reasons. At the end of the day,
right. And thankfully, like I said, we enjoy doing that. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. This would suck if we didn't love it. It would suck. Luckily, we love it, so it's awesome. Luckily, we can go on these trips and do 20-hour days, and it's like we're ragged, but it's like you're at the finish line. You're like, that was awesome.
That was
like I'm
totally
like,
worth it.
Home run, we did it. And if you didn't love it, it wouldn't feel like that, I guess, right?
And ultimately, the other thing we didn't touch on is continuing to grow this Massenomics community, because I think
that is. Yeah.
If you ask people that are involved and a part of Massenomics and supporters, I think a lot of them would say that this. It sounds cliche. It sounds dumb. It sounds, I don't know, it probably sounds self-centered, but I think there's a lot of people that would say, no, Massenomics has actually changed my life. Like I have a whole friend network across the country that I can tap into anytime I want, whether that's asking them questions, whether that's someone to hang out with, whether that's someone that wants to live. Like those resources are there. Like I have this common thread with all these people that we might have totally different backgrounds, beliefs, whatever, but this is the thing that kind of binds all of us, and we're all just cool with that.
Well, there's literally hundreds of people that would make that comment. And actually, just even on a personal level, I agree that in the sense that if I'm traveling almost anywhere, I've got someone that I could look up and be like, hey, you got any recommendations for me? Like at the very least, I'm like, no, I have this network of people, or the equipment stuff, everything we do at this point, we have a network of people across the world.
And it's not just us have a network. Anyone that's involved
we
in
all have.
Massenomics
I'm just saying,
has access to that same network.
I mean that as just one of the members of that, not as us as the ringleaders of it, but just as one of the members of it, that we get to utilize it in that same way.
And I think that's, I mean, at the end of the day, like we do some things to, we put stuff out there and hopefully attract the right people, but there still is an element of luck that somehow it seems like everyone that has joined us on this journey, been a part of it, has been cool people at the end of the day. And that comes along with doing the meets too.
Well, we've never even, in the whole episode, we have never even once, I think, hardly mentioned the Lift Hardly Easy Classic and how big of a thing that event is the in-person thing that ties it all together, along with Home Gym Con as ever growing. What the Arnold at least has been to us. That's shifted a little bit. In the early time, it was the Arnold. That was the in-person way we got to meet people. It's kind of shifted a little bit into other areas. But the Lift Hard, Live Easy is the cornerstone of putting real-life bodies to internet internet accounts.
It's the craziest, best week of the whole year.
Yeah. I think that kind of wraps it up, doesn't it?
Oh, man, that's it, huh? We somehow evaded the rain.
I know.
That didn't hit us. I don't know how.
My anxiety on that was hitting.
Stressing a little bit in the beginning here.
I do curious. It'll be fun to see in the background how many. There's a lot of people that have walked around as we've been recording this episode.
A lot of people have been going around. I think they think they can't walk by.
Yeah, a lot of interesting looks that you get as you're doing this, but you do get in the zone and just kind of not worry about that.
To me, they haven't even been there, honestly. I hardly even noticed anyone.
I did try to get the kids, these kids, like what you do when there's a news reporter, you go stand by, I think you'll be able to see them like coming back here and probably waving or something. Mm-hmm. Is that it? We did all the ads. Okay, overrated or underrated? Mount Rushmore.
I mean, it's impressive. It's still. I hadn't seen this for probably 8 years, and I was telling you on the way up here. Nowadays, there's so much AI garbage out there where everything's just fake on the internet, that to come and see something of this scale still is somewhat hard to comprehend. Right?
That's what I would say.
It's cool,
and we talked about this even. As you're saying, I think it truly, by definition, is underrated because people talk about it and hype it up, but there is just that feeling when you walk up there and you're like, wow. That kind of is like
big. It's big.
And I'm not a person that would necessarily. I don't think that I would think that, but when you see it, you still have this moment of like, yep, that's pretty crazy that's right there.
Yeah, we recorded a podcast here.
It is pretty crazy that we recorded this podcast here. I hope this will be a fun piece of Massenomics lore. I don't think many people know that this is going on. We've managed to keep this completely secret, basically, as much as we've kept anything secret ever. We hope everyone enjoys this. Please watch it on YouTube. Please, if you're a listener, you've been a listener, this episode, because it's so significant, will probably get a lot of listens. No matter how you listen or watch, please head over to YouTube and leave us a comment. I don't know. Let us know what you liked about this episode, or let us know your favorite Massenomics.
Yeah, do you have a favorite Massenomics memory or something?
Or how it affected you, how it shaped you? I love to hear those things. Like people DM like really serious stuff, and that's awesome.
And there's
to
little
hear.
things that they were insignificant to me at the time, but they were life-changing moments in people, and that's how they latched onto this whole thing. So
yeah, it's obviously changed our lives. Like so much, which is just odd to think if it didn't exist. I have no idea. We wouldn't be here right now. Of course, I don't even know. It would be so much different. I don't know if I'd live in the house I live in. I don't know if I'd
probably just be working on a truck, doing God knows what.
I guess I'd be really, really into old pickups. I'd have way more time for that. What would because this is our hobby.
Yeah.
Like, so what would you're into cars as is now. Would you just be really into cars?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd probably
time
still lift, actually, like because I was already like firmly dead on, like getting out of lifting.
But I could see how I'd be less into it because I would have had you just would have way more outs to not be in it because you don't have people to talk about it with and a community to I don't want to say hold you accountable, but just like a community to be a part of with it.
Yeah. Honestly, we could talk about 500 episodes all day in history and where we're headed next, but I think at some point in time we just got to wrap up because we got 501 through 1000 coming next, so we got to save something for those, don't we?
Can't do it all today.
Tommy, where do they find you at besides Mount Rushmore?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Baird, but nobody cares about that. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.